I'm Peter Hollins, Chief Executive of the British Heart Foundation, and we were one of the funders of Every Breath. And we also had our communications director. She was on the panel, and I myself saw it. I think 3 times. I loved it. As I said, I saw Every Breath, I think 3 times. Things that I liked about it were many, actually. First of all, I thought the idea, I thought the concept, the idea of actually using theatre to engage a really serious issue was tremendous. Second, I'm married to somebody who does a lot of work with kids, and she was absolutely delighted with the way the whole thing worked. The final thing I liked about it, I think, was that everybody seemed to be having a lot of fun, which is actually pretty important in these things, I think. The fundamental issue, of course, is whether we as a society are ethically justified or even practically justified in actually using animals for medical research. And it's a complicated issue. We can all have emotional points of view on it, but I think in an increasingly complex world, having something which encourages people to think through the logic of their position is really important. And I thought this was a fantastic way of doing it. Well, we live in an increasingly complicated society where it's very easy to take emotional positions on things, and it's very easy for people to be against things. But actually, you can really be against anything without having an either-or choice to make. If you're against something, it essentially means that you have to accept the consequence of that. I think people sometimes don't realise that. And the idea of being able to operate with a group of young people which encourages them to see issues in a wider context and to think through coherent positions, I think is extremely valuable. And in this particular case, of course, it was the question of the use of animals in medical research. And I think we can all say that we'd like to live in a world where animals weren't used in medical research, but sadly, for quite a lot of things, that there are no alternatives. There are no practical alternatives. And you therefore have to say, if you see using the use of animals as something which you prefer to avoid, you have to recognise what the consequence is of not doing it. I think it's a tremendous form of engagement, particularly with young people. I thought Every Breath and subsequent production, Nobody Lives Forever, that I saw were really well written to engage with young people at a critical stage in their life, and I thought it worked. I thought the formula in both cases worked really well. A sentence to sum up worker-wide touring would be: fantastic way of getting people to think about fundamental issues in a really engaging way.